Was this when you first went to therapy around this time?
It was, yeah. And I think it was probably because after that injury, and all the time I'd had to think about things, I really had a chance to kind of really think things through and go, it would be actually crazy for me not to go to therapy after everything I've gone through, and talk to somebody who is an expert, who you can trust, who can advise you. And it's a bit like really going to the gym. It's like, wow, you feel great afterwards. Yeah. And it's, you think initially, oh, it's going to be a bit embarrassing. How do I start the conversation? But they're so good and they're so well trained at what they do. It gave me, I don't know, it just made me feel better in so many ways, because stuff that used to bother me, I would talk to them about, and you almost kind of get the answer, it's going to be, but someone needs to tell you other than yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know the answer, but you kind of need someone to validate it.
Yeah. Did you go to I've been to therapy. I've also been to therapy with my partner, do couples therapy every week.
I've done that.
Which is really useful.
Yeah, my God, ours would make the best reality show on the planet. Keep thinking
it's a good idea.
Seriously.
What was when you went to the therapist, was it because of how you were feeling following the back injury and the pandemic? Or was it just more broadly that you hadn't processed a lot of things throughout the last couple of decades? Was there a specific issue you went with?
That's a good question. I think I met a few people who were in the entertainment business, and we spoke a lot about how do you deal with this, how do you deal with that, and they all, well, two people in particular said we went into therapy, and they said, have you tried it? And I went, no. They said, try it once, see how you feel. And when I went, it was very interesting, because what you realize is that most of us have actually bottled stuff up, somewhere in our bodies. And it's like a release. And we all need that release, because there's something in your brain which you haven't spoken about, or something that's bothered you and you don't know who to talk about, or whatever. And actually, it's not a weakness. If anything, it's a strength to be able to admit that we are all vulnerable, that none of us are perfect, that we do need help. And there are people much smarter than us who can just help you. And why not take advantage of that? Because I promise you, I don't believe there's a single person in the world who would go to a great therapist and then walk out and go, yeah, I didn't need that. But we all do, right? In the same way, we're discovering things about nutrition and, food and the importance of that. And, a lot of what we were talking about, social media and some of the negativities, all these things, we're not programmed, I don't believe, to deal with so much so quickly. So we've got to find, different ways of not just sorting your bodies out, but sorting your mental, it's not even mental health. It's just life, it's that, just having someone who's trained to give you better priorities, other things to think about, things you don't have forgotten about, all those kind of things I learned through doing it.